Good morning. Welcome to Failure to Stop Friday. We've got a big case breakdown for you today coming out of Las Vegas. And then I've just got another extreme video that I want to show you guys because I want to try something new on Failure to Stop Fridays. I want to try a cool guy video. So if you guys have a really cool guy video, I'm a cop related cool guy video, send it to the Failure to Stop Instagram page or the Facebook page, and I will maybe show it on Failure to Stop Fridays. Today I have it's an old one. It's an oldie but goldie. It's 12 years old, but I think I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start to show off every week with a not maybe motivational, but just a badass video of cops doing badass things because, hey, that is a part of the job. The job's a really cool job and you get to do a lot of cool stuff. Obviously, there's a lot of really crappy stuff that comes with the job too, but I think it's important to focus on the really cool things that cops get to do or the extraordinary things that cops get to do. Today, we don't have a sponsor. For the next 3 months, we're sponsorless, and here's why. Because Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story, is sponsoring the show from now until Christmas, and I will only be doing ads for Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story, the #1 police law enforcement book released from Simon & Schuster this fall. And I'm going to be all over the country. I'm going to be in Montana in a few days, and then I'm going to be I've got a golf thing that we've got so much on the docket. It looks like on August 31st, which is a Saturday, there will be a book release party in Clayton, North Carolina on the 31st. That is the initial friends and family. Of course, everybody is invited. It is at the Clayton Rocks Music School in downtown Clayton, North Carolina. You would fly into Raleigh, North Carolina, and then you could stay and celebrate with me. But you don't have to do that because I'm going to be touring with this book all across the country. I will be in Cincinnati. I will be in Colorado. I will be in Texas. So you don't have to fly in. But if you want to be at that initial one, there's going to be live music. Of course, there'll be suds and drinks. It's family friendly, and it's like an entire day long. So it'll be a book signing. I'll have a moment while I get up and talk. There'll be other cops that were involved in the book that will get up and talk. Friends and family, of course, obviously book signing and yada, yada, yada. And then live music dance party starting at 7 p.m. So the show is brought to you by Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story. We want to grab a New York Times bestseller with that. It will break the glass ceiling for other law enforcement related books that are written by police officers for police officers. The book's more like for civilians. I think the civilians are going to love it. But I want to see cops be more like the military, where they're not afraid to tell some of these stories and write their books and their memoirs. And maybe they'll have the courage to say some of the things and tell the stories as they really happen without trying to cover it up. So many times the police, we are always trying to be politically correct. We're always afraid that maybe a case is going to get brought up or we're going to get sued. And so I don't know. I'm hoping that this book works out well and that other law enforcement officers are like, yeah, dude, I'm going to write a book too. And I want to tell some of the audacious and crazy stories because, let's face it, the job is the greatest show on earth for a reason. So with that, let's jump into today's case breakdown. We are a live chat, and I want to thank everybody for being in the live chat. As it starts to grow, I'm going to go ahead and play the saucy little intro for today's show. All right, sit back and let's go. Guns up, giddy up.
The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on
This is
Sunday.
about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
Guns up and giddy up. We've got Loren, Tyler S. We've got Armory Knight. We got Abby Ellsworth. I had the opportunity to do probably my very first Pig Latin book podcast interview with Santana True Crime and Abby Ellsworth on being a police officer. It was a very special podcast for me. If you want to go and hear just a lot of things that my training officer, JC Santana, he was there and Abby was asking us lots of questions. And it was just really cool to get a chance to actually talk about this book that all of you have really had your hands in on since the Failure to Stop since the show was born with Mike the Cop, and the minute that I told you guys I had been writing a book. So this book is really 6 or 7 years in the making, but really it was once I let you guys know that I was making a book or writing a book, and how many of you guys reached out to me, and you guys have just been so patient. I never thought in 1,000 years that I would get a once in a lifetime top 1% book deal from the number 3 or 4 publishing company in the world, Simon Schuster. And so for the opportunity, I am forever thankful. I am forever grateful. And this has just been a wild journey, and it's only getting started, but I'm having a lot of fun. So the show goes on, though. This is a Failure to Stop, and we're all about big case breakdowns. I want to start today's show off with a little motivation. So I'm going to play this clip. It's from like 15 years ago. I'm not going to give it. It's just a cool guy show. It's a cool guy story, and I want to tell more cool guy stories. So this story is actually from like 15 years ago. I never heard that story. I thought it was pretty badass. Again, if you guys have a really cool story, you can submit it on Failure to Stop's Instagram or Facebook, and maybe it will make one of our shows. Cool guy story of the day. Here we go.
Video shows a mom wearing a white shirt shopping with her 2 daughters. Seconds later, while the mother's back is turned, this stranger reaches in and grabs her 2-year-old little girl from the shopping cart. Her stunned 12-year-old sister watches in horror. The man, Sammy Wallace, hands a cell phone to the girl's mother and demands she call a police officer he knows in Dallas, Texas, all while holding a knife to the little girl's stomach, according to police. Frightened shoppers frantically call 911.
He took this woman's kids, and we need a police here immediately. There's someone with a knife holding a little girl hostage.
You can see the knife, you can see the baby, you can see the mama.
Terry Parker, a local pastor, watched the dramatic scene unfold and heroically blocked Wallace with his cart until police arrived.
If that gentleman was to come my direction, he had to go through me or our cart to do that.
Moments later, SWAT teams evacuated the building and 2 police officers begin to negotiate. But it's not working. Police say Wallace was not responding coherently, that he was acting unstable and making unreasonable demands. Afraid for the child's safety, they moved the mother and her older daughter to the front of the store. Wallace starts counting down from 60, threatening to harm the child, moving the knife towards the little girl's neck as she starts to squirm. Then, while one negotiator distracts Wallace, another goes up and shoots him point blank.
He knew if he was going to take the shot, he had one chance. He made sure he was at point blank range so that there was no ability to harm that child.
Now, I pulled this video. I watched the actual video. I think you can find it. It's probably on the interweb. It is on the interwebs. That's where I found it. But it's nuts. So this hostage negotiator walks up, because 99% of our listeners are on audio only. So you guys don't have the YouTubes. So I'm trying to paint the picture for them. But this hostage negotiator, they have another cop distract the hostage taker, and he looks to the left and he's having a conversation, and the other detective calmly walks up, puts the gun to this dude's noodle, and fucking puts a hole in his head, basically makes a canoe out of his skull. Absolutely insane. Absolutely just, I mean, it sucks, but how badass. It takes a real special somebody to be able to have the intestinal fortitude and the calmness and everything to just walk up and take that shot point blank range at somebody's head. Psychologically, mentally, physically, everything about you has to be in pretty good shape to handle a situation like that the way he did. So that's my badass cop story of the day. Like I said, if you have one, send it over to Failure to Stop on Instagram or on our Facebook. Okay. By the way, yesterday I got to hang out with Mandatory Fun Day. Today I will be with Keenan. I forgot his name now, but big influencer guy. And then I got to hang out with Tyler Gray as well yesterday. A lot of stuff going on with the book. So that's why my brain, this whole 3 months is going to be like this, guys, because the book tour is going to be insane. I don't know what, I know the show's going to get bigger. We're going to have new people in the chats. And so we got to get ready. We got to be welcoming to them. And so I've got Santana True Crime, of course, got Deadleg and everybody along to help us get through this. But anyway, here we go. Let's jump into today's big case breakdown. Again, this one comes out of Las Vegas. And I think the theme of today is, I talk a lot about warrior mindset on this show. If you haven't read the book, Forged in Chaos by Tyler Gray, I encourage you to go and read that book. This is it right here, Forged in Chaos. It's not just a cool guy's story like you're used to from Delta Force operators. This is a how he became Forged in Chaos. And one of the things I really like about this book is, his identity was taken away from him because he was blown up and he was forced to, he lost half of his arm and he's forced to be a civilian. And so, but it wouldn't have been if it wasn't for his background as a child that ultimately got him into the Delta Force, that ultimately, got him to where he was on the teams, and then to where he's at now in Hollywood as an actor, a writer, a big producer and writer and actor on the TV series SEAL Team. And he's got some other big things in the works. But the book really explains, I think, what a lot of cops, a lot of you buys. And this is what's cool, is that the book doesn't just speak. My wife is reading it too. It doesn't just speak to cops. There are a lot of you that were born with something. You're not a non-player character. You were born with, with the thing that you don't like injustice. You don't like the bully. You don't like to fit in just to fit in. You would rather not fit in if it meant standing up for what you believe. And that's where a lot of cops become cops. A lot of people who didn't think they were going to become cops, they become cops later in life. And then we all realize that we were actually kind of the same person growing up. We were kind of cool, but we didn't want to sell our soul to being cool. We weren't going to do whatever it takes to be cool. We were going to be ourselves, and we were going to do the right thing because it was the right thing to do. And I think that that's, there's other professions like that too. Nurses, right? Nurses, they felt like they had a calling. A lot of nurses feel like they had a calling to be there, like they needed to serve other people. Maybe you're not in any of the first responder industry, but your whole life you've just been grown with this subconscious need to protect, to stand up for others, to be emboldened by the brave and the courageous. And so this story is not just for people who want to be Delta Force or want to be first responders or want to be military, but it's really a great insight into helping you understand where you are with your personality traits as someone who is forged in chaos. And it's not just chaos from war. That's what's really important about this book, is there's all sorts of types of chaos that we're all forged in that make us who we are. And I think that the Wolf Pack, you guys all share that same similar belief, because I see that when you guys private message me and you DM me, it's like we all have this calling to selflessly serve others or to be a part of the service of others. And so really powerful book, and it'll help you through your mindset in all aspects of your life. So I really do think it's a very important book to read. And so as I've talked about that so much in the last few weeks, this warrior mindset, a warrior has to train. It's not mindset alone. It's taking your mindset and putting it into action. In this case, we're talking law enforcement action. And so if you're going to be a warrior in the profession, in the law enforcement profession, if you're going to be a warrior in the nursing profession, then to be a warrior in that profession, you have to be trained. It is not, there are wannabes, and then there are those who are. There are the guys who show up and they know what they're doing, and then there are non-player characters. And I ask you, are you a non-player character? Are you a warrior in your marriage? Are you a warrior in your raising of your children? Are you a warrior as a nurse, as a mechanic, as a writer? Are you just going through the motions, or are you actually training? Are you actively trying to get better? Are you actively trying to be better than you were yesterday? Are you continuing education, continuing to learn? Or are you simply a non-player character, somebody who just wears the t-shirts or wears the hats or plays the role, thinks that you know everything? Let me tell you, some of the greatest black belts in jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts will tell you that the greatest thing about mixed martial arts and Brazilian jiu-jitsu is it's forever learning. You're never A black belt means nothing. It means that you have just been learning for 15 to 20 years, and you are making a commitment that is your life, that it is a life commitment of learning. And I think that's when you talk to most black belts, that's what they'll tell you. The black belt just means that you fully grasp and understand that this is a journey that never ends. The pain never ceases. It never gets easier. You get older, the younger belts get faster, they get stronger, you're getting weaker and slower. And so just because you have a black belt, it does not mean that you sit at some kind of throne above everybody else. You don't. You're never going to be the best. You're always going to be learning. And so that is that warrior mindset. And in this case, the reason why I chose this case is because if we're not continually training, if you are just going through the motions, if you think that because you graduated the academy, you think because you got a badge on your chest, you got 2 sets of handcuffs, you got your sexy pouches, you got your cool guy shades and your sweet watch, you've got your workout protein powder, you got all of these things. It doesn't mean that you are continuing in your education, you're continuing in your training. And when the time comes, when it is time, will you be forged completely in chaos? Is your sword going to be sharpened? Is it still going to be sharp, or is it going to be rusty and dull and ineffective? And this is why, because you don't know when you're going to show up. And this is how your day is going to turn out. And if you are not continually training, if you are not putting practice rounds down range, if you are not dry firing, if you're not practicing raising your levels of stress and still being able to function, if you're you should be so proficient at, if you carry a tourniquet, you should be so proficient in tying that tourniquet. And I would challenge you to do it at night before you go to bed. When you turn all the lights out, your wife turns all the lights off, and I encourage you to try to manipulate your tourniquet from start to finish. What do I mean by that? I don't mean set it up on your bed nightstand, whatever, wherever it is in the dark, go find it, bring it back to the dark, manipulate it in the dark, make a challenge for yourself. Here's a fun one. You lose something in the couch. You can take the couch cushion out to find it, or you can practice using your fine motor skills to dig your hand in there without looking. Hopefully there's no scorpions or anything in there. And you feel around. You make challenges. You're carrying your groceries. This is an easy one for the men, but it starts to pinch your fingers. Don't put the groceries down. Work through the pain and get to the front door, because listen, you never know when those fine motor skills, you're going to need those fine motor skills. You're going to need that trigger discipline. You're going to need to be able to manipulate your handcuff clasp in all of the adrenaline soaked, chaos that you're in. Forge yourself in chaos. Make life a little bit harder for yourself, so that when you're in the moment to be a warrior, you can be the knight in shining armor like these officers are. And I just think this is such a great example of why we train. Because if this cop did not train, we would have at least 2 dead kids, if not 3 dead kids in this scenario. 2 dead kids. If this cop messed up even a little bit, we would have 2 dead children. So while you watch this, I want you to ask yourself, are you really training, or are you going through the motions? All right, here we go.
You give him your info so that you can see.
Let me set this up for the audio listeners. We have a man, very lethargic, wife beater. The call came into the gas station that there is a man and a woman sleeping at the gas pumps. We know what this is, right? We've had that call before, especially lower income areas, heroin, meth, fentanyl. We get it, right? They take the heroin and they slump over the steering wheel and they're out cold. A lot of times the car is in drive. Lucky their foot's on park. I've had to deal with that before. It's very sad. And so we know what we're responding to. In this case, the man is already out of the car when the cops get there, but he's showing all of those indicators that he is on drugs for sure.
You have a valid license and I can leave. Is that fine?
Mommy's here.
Mommy's here? Look, man, my main concern is the kids. Hold on. Nope. Car's taking off on us. Hey, you lay down. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get out of the car. Male took off. It's heading towards the freeway.
All right, let's stop here for just a moment. What we have here is this very lethargic man. There's a little girl in the car. There's multiple girls in the car. There's three little girls in the back seat, plus a wife in the front seat, and him outside the car as if he's pumping gas. Not with it, not really responding well to officers. His head's moving very slowly. All the indicators point to he's high, super high, extremely high. And, almost at that point of like overdose high where they're just like completely gonzo. That's him. So he shuts the door multiple times. He doesn't really give any indicators that he's going to fight or flight. He's really just giving all those indicators that he's just high as a kite. And he is in another world. So I don't blame the police officers here for not picking up on indicators because we really didn't have any. He wasn't looking to where he was going to run. He wasn't making herky-jerky movements. He wasn't concealing anything. He wasn't leaning one way or the other. And then all of a sudden, he just bolted into the front seat of his car and he leaves. Now, I look at a lot of YouTube videos and they're like, cops are such pussies these days. Why didn't they stop him before he gets in the car? That's wild. Why didn't they separate him? How many times do we go through cases where the cop tries to be proactive and get ahead of something like this, where 10 years ago we would have just put our hands on this guy anyway? There's enough. Like there's enough to say, like, you're behind the wheel of a car. There's kids in the car. I'm going to put my hands on you and move you away from the car. We could have done that. But now that's called escalation. That's called escalation. And how many times do I talk about escalation really being like escalations are actually de-escalations? I put my hands on you. You don't get into the car. If we fight, that's okay. I'll win. I'll beat the brakes off of you and I'll put you in handcuffs. End of story. We get to go home. That's de-escalation. That's not escalation. It looks bad. It looks escalatory, but it's not. What is an escalation is I don't put my hands on you. I don't touch you. I don't separate from the car. I don't fight you. I don't beat the brakes off of you. You jump into the car and you take off with 3 kids in the car, high as a fucking kite. And now we're going to see what happens next. Again, I don't blame the cops for anything that they've done. They are a product of 2025. And the guy really gave no indicators that he was going to do anything. And in today's policing where you have to de-escalate, I cannot wait for that word to just disappear. That's not our fucking job to de-escalate. Our job is to keep you from harming others when it's apparent that we have to now gamble whether you're going to do it or not. Does that make sense? Like when it becomes a gamble, when you're high and you're that close to a car, I don't want to gamble anymore. So I'm going to put my hands on you and move you away. If you want to fight me over that, that's fine. We'll fight. I think I'll win. But I'm not going to just let you get into this car with all of these people, as high as you are, as shitty as you are, and take off. And here's why.
One of the kids fell out of the car when he took off. Kid's 41.
Bet you didn't see that coming. I bet you didn't see that coming. Let me rewind it. You guys are all like, look at you guys. You guys are all paying attention now because you're like, wait, what the fuck? Wait, he just left. Now we've got cops shooting? Hold on. Wait a minute. Let's play it again. Pay attention.
Male took off. It's, heading towards the freeway. One of the kids fell out of the car when he took off. Kid's 41.
Did you catch it that time? Did you catch it that time? So now we've got this guy who just drove off from this traffic stop very abruptly, and a kid falls out of the car, which, oh my God, I have 5 kids. Oh my God. If I did anything, I'll tell you a quick story. Driving down the road, we were on a road trip going to Savannah, Georgia. My daughters wanted to be in the second row, closest to mom and I, and that's great because we can feed them easier than if they're in the very back row, because we have an SUV that has 3 rows. So the older kids are sitting in the very back, and we have one car seat, a gap, and then the other car seat. So the car seats are by the right rear door and the left rear door. Driving to Savannah. Rear door opens. Driving down the freeway, 70 miles an hour. Door just fucking opens. Well, my 2-year-old, she could lean forward and she grabbed the handle of the door and the door freaking opened. Now, thank God she was buckled up and that's great. But like it got the conversation rolling with my wife and I that like, what if one of us had forgotten to buckle her in and she fell out of the car going down the freeway and died? Like, what would we do? How would we? It's an insane thought. That's what, parents think about. It's like, and so now we're like hyper vigilant of, did we buckle our kids in and like, do I lock the doors? But it would, absolutely insane. And so I've had the anxiety of even thinking about having my child fall out of the car. Now I'm seeing it in real time. Here we go with mom and a dad, high as fuck. All the indicators point that they're high as fuck. Oh, don't judge them. Don't judge them. Well, hold up. Hold on. Indicator-based planning. My perception is you guys are high and I have to act on the perception. Now, perception isn't reality and I can learn facts later that make it. But for right now, in cop world, I have to go on what my perception is. And my perception is you're high as shit. My perception is that you're probably on heroin. That's my perception. Could you be having diabetic episode? Sure. Could you guys have been poisoned? Sure. But right now, I don't get to go on the what ifs. I can only go on what my perception is right now, and I have to deal with that perception as we see fit. But we can't deal with that perception because you've driven off, and one of your kids fell out of the car. And so every cop is thinking on scene right now, there's two. Oh my God, he just drove off at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and a child midway through fell out of this freaking car. By the way, she has a head injury because she fell out head first. Thank God the back tire didn't catch her. And so now we've got a victim on the ground, and we've got the wife who bolted out of the car after the girl fell out. He stops, slams on his brake because he's like, shit, we just lost Sally Jane. Mom jumps out. She now gives a fuck. She now gives a shit about the children. She didn't give a shit when she pulled into the gas station and shot heroin at the gas station, at the gas pump. But now she cares. But now the cops don't know what's going on. So they're trying to stop this mother who's running crazy, and this guy drives off, but they put out on the radio that he's driven off, and now they're focusing their attention on this girl who just had her skull knocked open from falling out of a car. What they failed to realize was that homeboy was coming back, and he was coming back to, well, I'm not sure what his intent was. What do you think in the chats? Do you think his intent was? Let's watch this video, and we're going to play a different angle of it. But like, does this look like a father coming back for his wife and child?
Get out the ground! Get out of the car! Male took off, heading towards the freeway. One of the kids fell out of the car when he took off. Kid's 41.
Now, I don't think that he had any intention of picking anybody up. He was trying to run both those cops and his family over. That's my perception. That's my perception in one split millisecond. Nobody saw this coming. Look how, like you guys were in the chats all talking about like, hey, what's up? How's your day go? Doing all the fun things that we like to do on the YouTube chats. And all of a sudden you guys are like, holy shit. When did we start shooting things? Like, whoa, that escalated real quick. As often law enforcement situations do unfold. It goes from really good to really bad to god awful really, really fucking quick. Think about homegirl in the grocery store. Oh, I'm trying to get my cured Smithfield bacon. This looks like a good package of bacon. Next thing you know, my daughter's got a fucking knife to the stomach by some strange man that's gone off his fucking rocker. And then 10 minutes later, we've got a detective blowing this dude's head fucking right off his shoulders while he's holding your 3-year-old daughter. I mean, like, you don't get to plan for this shit. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't something you get to prep for. It's not a UFC fight. You don't get to watch the video and see how this is going to play out and then, get on your diet, get on your workout plan, your training camp, and then go fight somebody. No, that's not what law enforcement's all about. That's not what being a firefighter is all about. You don't know when you're going to be sitting there playing Nintendo 64 writing your grocery list for the day, and a routine fire goes out. But when you get there, it's not routine. There's a little girl in a crib, and now you and your men are, going on this harrowing, death-defying mission to rescue somebody. Are you trained? Do you know how to get your oxygen tanks fit right? Do you know how to crawl around the dark? Are you going through the motions in your training? Are you just trying to get through training as easy as you can, or are you challenging yourself at training? Oh, this is in-service training. It's pretty basic and it's pretty boring. Then stress yourself out. Fast before you do it. Make yourself really fucking hungry. You know it's going to be hot outside. See if you can work through some cramps. Make it hard for yourself. Close your eyes instead of just, they're gonna put a bunch of smoke in this building for our in-service training just to make sure we can still crawl through the burning, but it's not even a lot of smoke and it's really easy. Then make it hard. Close your fucking eyes. You're only cheating yourself. Wow. This is a crazy case. Let's keep going and play the other thing because there's more to this than even what you see right now. Pretty wild.
Shots fired, shots fired.
Okay, so what we saw right there was just a standard reloading of his firearm. What you didn't notice, which you may or may not have noticed, some of you noticed because you've been watching this show long enough, is that he was running with a completely empty firearm. Now, why is his firearm empty? How many shots did he take? How many shots did he take? Mr. Tactician Guru, Tactical Gurus? How many shots did he take? How many shots would you have taken? Do you see how fast those bullets went? See how fast he went through all of those rounds? Let's play it again. Let's see. How many rounds did he fire?
It's heading towards the freeway. One of the kids fell out of the car when he took off. Kid's 41.
Somebody said sounds like 3. Well, that was a lot more than 3. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. Hold on. I say 6. Others say 5.
Shots fired, shots fired.
Pretty fast though, right? That was more than 4. I know it was more than 4. Let's play the other angle here. We'll play the other angle. Let's go. This is body camera number 2. And you're really going to see how serious this is. And you're going to see how hard the girl falls out of the car in this scene.
Car's taking off on us.
Look how fast he picked that girl up. He's like, "It's okay, baby. It's okay." And he's patting her head. You know what I mean? Like that fraternal, that dad figure. It just comes out, man. Like it comes out, and I can feel this guy. Like immediately, he's in like full empathy mode. He's in like full dad mode, full warrior, full protector. I was born to be here. These are the people I was born to protect, and this is his moment. He didn't ask for it. He didn't probably want it. In fact, I can tell you, he didn't really want it. But he's been put in this position, and all of his years of being a protector and being a warrior are coming out right here, right in this 3 seconds. And he's holding on to the little girl.
We have the female and the little girl here.
And he's trying to work on the girl, check her head. And now, here comes the car barreling down. And he tries to hit him.
Shots fired, shots fired.
The vehicle crossed landscaping, a sidewalk, and
now I want to play out the rest. Actually, I want to play out exactly what that guy said. That's on another video. Let me remove this really quick from the studio, and I'll play this last little video for you. Here we go.
evidence was collected from the vehicle. Officers discovered heroin, methamphetamine, and a firearm. The investigation remains active and ongoing. The officer who discharged his firearm.
For those of you who are just listening, that's a lot of fucking drugs, actually. That is, I don't know how many grams of powdered cocaine it looks like right there. And then we have a bundle, maybe 2 bundles of heroin above that. I'm not exactly sure. I think those are tiny bundles of heroin in a bag next to that, but there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know. Maybe like that's probably a bundle. That's more than 10 though. That might be a bundle. We have a bundle of heroin and then maybe a bundle of heroin, which a bundle would be 1, a bundle would be 2. We've got a crack pipe, and then we've got what looks to me to be cocaine, powdered cocaine. If there's anybody that's a drug expert in here that wants to pipe in, go ahead. Not only do they have that
ongoing,
but they have, let me go back here.
The investigation remains.
They also have,
and a fire.
I'm sorry.
Methane.
So it was meth. So here's the meth is in another bag. And then it looks like we have an 8-ball of cocaine above the bag of meth. Maybe that's 2 8-balls of cocaine. One just looks like it's almost empty. That's a lot. This is a lot of drugs. So you have 2 8-balls of cocaine, a bag of meth, a bag of a little bit more cocaine, and then you have a bundle of heroin, and then you have another bag with a bundle of heroin. He said, Loren says a bundle, and a bushel. I mean, that might be, is a bushel more than a bundle? I don't know. I don't know if he's being funny or serious. I know a bundle is 1, a bundle is 2. I'm not sure what a bushel is.
Officers discovered heroin, methamphetamine, and a firearm. The investigation remains active and ongoing. The officer who discharged his firearm, Officer Bardulis, has been with the North Las Vegas Police Department since 2020. Preliminary details indicate Officer Bardulis fired 5 rounds from his department-issued handgun during the encounter. In accordance with
5 rounds
department policy, he has been placed on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. The investigation determined that multiple exits from the gas station were available, but Green chose to return and drive towards officers and civilians. Based on his actions, Green was charged with 2 counts of attempted murder with a deadly weapon and 3 counts of child abuse or neglect. Additional charges are pending. Crystal Levitt was also arrested and charged with 5 counts of child abuse after admitting that neither she nor Green were fit to care for the children and acknowledging the presence of drugs and the firearm inside the vehicle. Neither adult had legal custody of the 3 children. Child Protective Services took custody of them and confirmed their legal guardian is a maternal relative.
Which I love Child Protective Services. Listen, I'm not going to go into I think the Child Protective Service program is extremely broken. But here we go. This is something we don't see. And this is coming out of Las Vegas police. And I'm not trying to race bait here or create race wars here. But I think this is highly unfair because how many of these cases do we break down and they will refuse? They will go at great lengths not to let you see the defendant's criminal history. But in this case, you have 2 white people. And so they, without even hesitating, have released all of their criminal history. Isn't that funny? So it's like you can have another person of color do anything. We've broken these down all the time, and everybody asks, "What's their criminal record? What's their criminal record?" And they've been redacted. You're unable to pull them out without a paywall. Like, it's ridiculous. And I think it is overt. Like I think it is overt that they're white, and therefore we can say their criminal history because it matters. And it does matter. Criminal history always matters no matter what the race is. But in this country, if the person is a person of color, they typically will not let you see their criminal history overview. You have to really, really work hard for it.
Green and
when it comes from the department. Media outlets will try to find the criminal history and get it out to you. Departments will not. Maybe I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. That's just my perception of it. My perception may not be reality.
Green and Levitt both have extensive criminal histories involving drug offenses, assault, and weapon-related charges.
So, a lot of charges here. A lot of charges from this mom and dad. You've got battery with substantial bodily harm, possession of a Schedule 1 and 2 controlled substance, fraud. use of credit or debit card fraud, burglary. What else?
Have extensive
resisting public officer, assault with a deadly weapon, robbery again.
criminal histories involving drug offenses,
That's from
assault,
both characters.
and weapon-related charges.
Golly, that's a lot of charges between the two of them. So, you know, again, why are these two people still out on the streets? Why are they still anywhere near children? And as a society, if you look at the YouTube comments on these videos, it's a lot of blaming the police. Why are the police cowards? Why did the police need to shoot them with kids in the car? What if the cops would have shot the kids? Let's talk about it. It's a great point. It's a great point. We have a guy driving around trying to kill people in a car. This cop put rounds as he got struck. He put all of his rounds, 5 rounds. They said that the suspect took multiple rounds. Let's say he took 3 out of the 5. Might have taken all 5. That is an extraordinary feat to put multiple rounds in a car that physically hits you in the leg while it's driving by you a million miles an hour and you didn't hit a single other person. None of the kids in the backseat were injured at all. Are you capable of making those shots? Have you practiced high stress situations, making sure that you are confident that if a car is barreling down at you, that you're able to get a sight picture and squeeze rounds off and hit your target through a windshield and not hit a single shot? 5 rounds fired. So he has had some kind of weapons malfunction. He did a reload and a tap rack ready. I'm not sure what happened there. But obviously those guns hold more than 5 rounds, so he didn't run dry. But does a great job on the reload. But he was struck in the leg by the car and was still able to put 5 rounds successfully into that windshield without hitting a single kid in the back. It's a bold move. That's a bold move. I saw another comment said, cops are real quick to shoot. I don't know. What are the odds here? You've got a guy that's extremely high. It's apparent that he's extremely high. He's trying to kill other people with his car. He doesn't leave out of an exit. He goes up over the curb, up over through some shrubbery, out onto the street. Yeah, it looks like his intent is to keep driving until he kills somebody. Let's say he doesn't. Let's say he gets into a high-speed pursuit. Now you're risking the 2 children, the person, and whatever car he hits. What if it's a van? What if it's a church van? What if it's a school bus? You know, if we really want to play the what if game, like then play the what if game. You know what I mean? It's hard being a cop, and you're gonna have to make really important decisions free of your ego. And look, you're gonna have to live with those shots the rest of your life. That's why it is important to have the correct mindset, not only for law enforcement, but in life in general. When that time comes, look, a lot of you guys carry tourniquets. Great. A lot of you guys every day carry. Great. Are you just carrying to go through the motions? Or are you practicing? Where is your gun? Is it in your purse? Is it at the bottom of your purse? How are you going to get there? How are you going to get to use it? Are your children prepared? Do your children know what to do when a stranger has them? You know, obviously a 3-year-old's not going to be able to defend themselves against this kind of situation, but you know, what if you're in that grocery store and a guy kidnaps a little girl and holding her hostage, he's going to leave? Do you have a plan? Have you played something out like that? Are you going to be the guy that pulls your gun out and tries to shoot him and fucks everything up? Are you the guy that can pull his gun out before the cop gets there and shoot him and get away with it, not injure the kid? I don't know. These are questions I like to ask. I like to propose to people, to everybody, whatever are you going through the motions with whatever you're doing? Or are you trying to be the best that you can be at what you're trying to do? Whether it's a mechanic, whether it's plumbing, whether it's anything. Are you just going through the motions, showing up every day? Or are you trying to get better at your profession? Learning new techniques, continued education, whatever it is. Crazy. Somebody in the chat says that those amounts of drugs are trafficking. Oh, for sure. I would argue that, yeah, I mean, for sure. How much heroin is even trafficking? I mean, I would say more than probably one bundle. Wow. Of heroin. I would say a bundle of heroin is trafficking all day. That is a lot. I mean, 2 8-balls plus that other little bag, plus a bag of meth. And I mean, those weren't small amounts either. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, that's not personal use. I don't think they can afford that. That couple doesn't look like they can afford that much. So they're definitely users and sellers, or at least transporters. Like maybe like, hey, you transport this to this person and you can have some of it on the way. And they took enough to just fucking pass the fuck out. Tyler S says in Canada you can carry 3.5 grams of any drug freely, right? But those 8-balls, that's 8 grams. That's 16 grams just right there. Plus what's a bundle? What's a bundle? What's a bundle? What's a bundle? Is that a gram? A bundle, for those of you who don't know, is like a BC powder amount. Like if you've ever had BC powder, the headache powder, if you open up a BC powder thing, that's about what a bundle of heroin amount would be. A bundle would be 10 of those, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while. Oh, 8-ball. An 8-ball is 3.5 grams? That seems like a lot. That seems like a lot because I've literally been around multiple people who have died trying to swallow an 8-ball. Like multiple, more than twice. 2 8-balls is 1/4 gram. Okay. Fair. Seems like a lot. Seems like a golf ball amount. You know what I mean? How much does, let me ask you this while we're on the subject. How much cocaine, powdered cocaine, does somebody usually consume in one sitting? An 8-ball? Or do they share an 8-ball? Or is an 8-ball multiple? Like, give it to me in terms of like 6-pack versus like 12-pack versus like 24-pack. Like, is an 8-ball like a 24-pack of beer? Like, you're sharing that beer with other people? Like, it's 12-pack, you're sharing it with a buddy. 24-pack, you're sharing it maybe like 2 buddies. I got you. 3.5 is an 1/8. That's why they call it an 8-ball. Learning new stuff. I'm waiting for Tyler to tell me about how is it personal consumption for an 8-ball? 8-ball is almost a golf ball. Fair. But is it for single use or do somebody share an 8-ball? I don't know. I'm asking. So it's shareable. Somebody says. Well, somebody says in Canada you can just carry an 8-ball of fucking cocaine around freely. That's nuts. That's crazy. So yeah, I don't know. It seems like a lot of drugs. It seems like a fuck ton of drugs. I mean, I've caught people with lots of drugs, but like, normally I don't meet a user with that much drugs. Anytime I've found that much drugs, that amount of drugs has been on like a search warrant or like on a dealer, like really nice car, going somewhere, you know. That's single if you have a serious problem. All those drugs were for single use if you have a serious problem? Okay, yeah. So a heavy addict can do an 8 in a day. Fair. I got you. KDK says they share it when they start, but then they need the whole thing to themselves. Kind of like alcohol, right? Like usually a 12-pack, you share it. But if you're a full-blown alcoholic, you can... Terrible stuff, man. It's so sad that, you know, that it takes your mind to a place that you can put your kids in that kind of danger. That's really sad. Anyway, guys, that's our case breakdown for today. I got to head all the way back to Chapel Hill to meet up with Keegan Dunlap and Mandatory Fun Day. And we're going to do some more stuff with those guys and then maybe meet up with Tyler Gray again. Guys, if you haven't already done so, please. By the way, you guys should be getting I mailed out a shit ton of of the signed and autographed bookmarkers. So if you got them, post them. Put a picture up on Instagram and tag me, Eric Tansey Official, or Failure to Stop, or both. And I want to post them and say thank you. But enjoy you guys' stuff. But man, doesn't this book look really pretty? This is the hardcover of Pig Latin. It came in this week, but it's just so nice and pretty. It's got a little blurb. It's got all the reviews on the back from Tyler Gray, Conservative Ant, Jack Mandeville, Mandatory Fun Day, and Mike the Cop. So I'm just really cool. It's really fun to actually hold this thing in my hand. A lot of you guys know how special it is. So appreciate everybody who's been a part of this. And I hope I get to see you guys at one of the book signings and one of the meetups. Let me know what town I need to come through. You guys don't be afraid to DM me. All right, guys, let me get out of here. Go and buy Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story. Please go out and check out The Bar's Open with Beth and Greg, Santana True Crime, On Being a Police Officer, One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. Support those around us that are Bosco Autry and Forever Road if you're really into music and cars and all those things. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you everybody who has been a part of this. Thank you, Abby. You're the best. Tyler, thanks for all the information. Tyler says he's getting all of his information, everything that he says from a friend. Gotcha. Fair enough. Look, I used to know a lot more about these things. I've just kind of wiped it away from my head. Maybe on one of these episodes, I will sit back and tell you guys about some of the crazy drug arrests. I mean, one of the drug arrests I have ends up with a dead guy and a huge dildo in the butthole. But I'll save that for another story. Very crazy case for a different time, but we'll do that. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you check out Santana True Crime and On Being a Police Officer, their collaborated podcast with me in the book. I think there's a lot of great information. They got a lot out of me in that hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it was, podcast, but it was very special. So go and check that out. Until next time, guys, guns up and giddy up. We'll see you on the next one. I'm so embarrassed. It wouldn't let me in the stream. Let me try it again. Did I pick my nose? Was I picking my nose? Was I doing something crazy? Was I like tweaking my nipples or something? I don't know. What was I doing? Oh, man. I thought we were off. I thought we were done. All right, let's try it again. Here we go.